Hello and welcome back to Solid. Thank you guys very much for joining me. Today is Wednesday, July 15th. My name is Jake. Fun fact about me is I just ate a pepperoni, ham, and salami sandwich with some buffalo sauce on it. So I'm going through a pretty big bout of heartburn right now. But that's what this show's about, being vulnerable with each other. That's not what it's about. It's a smart football, but dumb. We appreciate the football nerds. We think like the football nerds, but we're concussion uncles. In the end of the day, that's all we are, and we talk like them and we act like them. So that's the gist, okay? It is the off season. So what we've been doing, what we wouldn't do a royal we have been doing is going through division by division, talking about the changes that teams have made or did not make, just to kind of keep everybody, kind of up to date on what's going around the NFL. Because if you're a normal person, you don't care from February, I don't know, maybe the draft intrigues you. March to September, you don't give a shit, but I'm gonna keep you up to date if you do. I care. Fuck you for not caring about what I care about. Today, this is maybe important. I'm doing the NFC South. I'm doing the positive things that the teams in the NFC South did this offseason, and I'm going through. We're going to do divisional ranking from last season, talk about three big things that they did. For the first time since 2015, last year, the Panthers won the NFC South with a whopping 8-9 record. And then in second place, it was the Buccaneers with a whopping 8-9 record. And then in third place, it was the Falcons with a whopping 8-9 record. And then the Saints got in last place. So not a historically intriguing division, not a historically good division aside from Brady years and Matt Ryan. It's been a minute since you should give a shit about the NFC South. If you're not an NFC South guy, and if you're an NFC South guy, you have to know. You can't be like, no, fucking, we're the juggernauts, dick. Like, you gotta know. If you're a person that likes the NFC South or a team in the NFC South, you gotta be like, yeah, man, this is what it is, okay? If you want to tell me to go fuck myself, I'm totally fine with that. But you have to know. You have to know that this is not a good division. Gotta know that. And I think you do. I don't know who I'm preaching. There's probably somebody out there who's like, nah, man, Falcons are the truth. Disassociate yourself from those people. Okay, so starting with the Panthers, like I said, they won 8-9, lost to the Rams in the wild card. Put up a good fight in that wild card game. Looked pretty gross at the beginning, but it doesn't really matter what they did during the game. They ended up losing. Most important thing, well, okay, I should say this. No real changes on the Panthers coaching staff. Dave Canales is still the head coach. Very handsome man, so handsome that he cheated on his wife and then wrote a book about it. Most important thing that I think that they've done this offseason, that they're rebuilding the offensive line, and this kind of blends together with everything else that, well, I say everything else. The second most important thing that they did this offseason, rebuilding the offensive line. Ikem Ekwonu's their starting left tackle last year. He tore his patellar tendon in that wild card game. So I don't know. Probably not going to be back. Definitely not going to be back at the start of the season. Probably not going to be back this season. So, you know what they did? They drafted Monroe Freeling in the first round. I like him. And they also signed Rasheed Walker in free agency. So there is going to be a battle for that starting left tackle spot between Monroe Freeling and Rasheed Walker. Rasheed Walker came from the Packers. Was good there. He's a good ball player. He's a good ball player. He's a good ball player. And he's that experienced veteran. He's not gonna knock your dick off. He'll knock my dick. He'll knock my dick off. But he's not. I mean, you're not gonna blow your mind being like, holy shit, this guy's unreal. He's good. He's not great or he's not elite. He's good though. And then they got Monroe Freeling in the first round. That's also good. Like that's who I wanted the Eagles to get. I'm not mad about it. You're mad about it. so that's they're rebuilding there, and then they also got Luke Fortner from the Saints in free agency. He's going to be their center. It's good. This is a good thing. And I think it's more important when I bring in the second thing, which is what they did not do, and they did not give Bryce Young a contract, and I think that is a very, very smart thing to do. He was their first overall pick in 2023, which means that this offseason he was eligible for his fifth-year option to be exercised, and the Panthers did do that. A lot of times you'll see a team do that and then tack on extension years, and that's where they get their first big contract. Panthers didn't do that, and I think that's a great idea because Bryce Young, we've seen a lot of Bryce Young. Not like a lot of Bryce Young. We've seen Bryce Young do a lot of things. We've seen Bryce Young suck absolute balls. We've seen Bryce Young suck some balls. We've seen Bryce Young be perfectly fine. We've seen Bryce Young be good. We've seen Bryce Young rip dicks off. We've seen all five levels on the spectrum. We've seen it all from Bryce Young. But we've never seen him rip dicks off for an entire game. There are drives. There are series of plays, maybe not drives, but there are like series of plays, and drives, where he just is all of a sudden fucking lights out and looks like one of the best first-round draft pick quarterbacks ever. And then he gets a first down on second down, and then on the next play, fucking panics like a child, and then it's dog shit again. He's wildly inconsistent. He is wildly inconsistent. And I think it's great that they didn't give him a contract. You don't want to lock yourself in with a guy like that. I think that's a great thing. So them rebuilding this offensive line, they're building a level of consistency there. They're making sure that they can do everything that they can to be able to make sure that Bryce Young is in a great situation to see what he can really do. I think you lump those two things together. I think that is a perfect thing to do for a team that lucked into lucked in to a win in the division last year. I think those two things right there, phenomenal things that the Panthers have done. Third important thing that I think that they did, they signed Devin Lloyd in free agency. Devin Lloyd was the Jags linebacker. That's a massive upgrade. That is a massive upgrade because their linebackers last year were Christian Roseboom, and then he's taken over for Christian Roseboom's spot because Trevin Wallace and Claudin Chervis were their other linebackers. I think Trevin Walker ended up getting hurt in the last part of the season, maybe like early December or something like that, or I believe that's what happened. And then Chervis came in, but it's a massive upgrade over Christian Roseboom, who was not really good last year. Devin Lloyd, best thing about him, he's awesome in coverage. He's awesome in coverage, and that's huge because that's not the part. That's the part that makes good linebackers great linebackers. Every linebacker can play downhill. I mean, not everyone can, but that's the easy part of the job. The easy part of the job is coming downhill. I would say the same idea with like an offensive line who you're like, I don't really like pass blocking because I'm taking a step back first. I'm letting somebody make contact with me. Same kind of idea with same general concept as a linebacker playing in coverage. I mean, they're moving backwards. They're on the back foot. They're not dictating what's happening. They're playing. It's coverage. You understand. You guys get it. You know what coverage is. He's good at that. He's real good at that. And then also he's good at just being stopping the run. He's good at making tackles. The guy is just a really good linebacker, and that is a massive thing for the heart of this defense. Because I mean, they still got Derek Brown. Nick Scorton was their first round pick last year. Let me just make sure. No, he was their second round pick. I wrote Nick Scorton's name a lot last year and thought he was going to be a first round pick. That's not important. So and then they also signed Jalen Phillips, who I think I'll end up putting him on the negatives. But I don't know. I like what they did. I think making the heart of this defense something that's Devin Lloyd makes it so you have to take the middle of the field seriously. And I think that's a massive thing for the Panthers. So yeah, it's rebuilt the offensive line, Make Bryce Young prove it, and then get a dude. He's not just a guy. He's a dude. He's just a dude. He's a jag to Jad. He's a Jad. Just a dude. No, he's a dude. He's a dude. Whatever. That one's not gonna work. Panthers. Good offseason. Good things are good. The good things are good with the Panthers. There's some teams that are like, the good things are just like, I'm kind of having to twist it. Panthers don't really have to do that. So, God, that's that heartburn. Buccaneers, 8-9, like I said, missed the playoffs. FTN Fantasy does a really good stat. It's the adjusted games lost due to injuries. And the Buccaneers had the 29th most injured offense of every team, the 32 teams. It's the third most injured offense in the NFL last year. I think that's kind of where, because their whole thing is that they were going into the bye. They were at the beginning of the season, at the beginning of the 2025 season, they were like the fucking class of the NFL. Like that, they were absolutely tearing. They went into their Week 9 bye with a 6-2 record. Came out of that bye, lost 3 straight, won 1 against Arizona, lost 4 straight, won the last game against Carolina. So they went in 6-2, came out of the bye 7-2. That is a big downfall. That is, I don't want to call it it's a collapse. It's a collapse, but it's not a collapse like due to the injuries were massive for them last year. So after the season, they got Zach Robinson. He was the Falcons' offensive coordinator. Jamel Dean left. He had been like their corner since 2019. He went to the Steelers. Mike Evans is gone. He'd been with them since 2013. San Francisco is where he went. And then Levante David, he retired. He'd been their linebacker since 2011. So it's a lot of changes. It's a lot of changes on this team entirely. The best thing that they did, that I think that they did in the offseason, they got Kenneth Gainwell. They got Kenny G, the jazz man. They got Kenny G. Rashad White went to Washington in free agency, so they got Kenny Gainwell. He was an incredible... The thing about Kenny Gainwell is that I hated Kenny Gainwell. In 2022, fucking hated Kenny Gainwell, because what the Eagles would do with him is that they would have A.J. Brown in this... when it 2022 and 2023 in 2024, they would have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts, Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley. They would have all of these playmakers all over the fucking field, and then on third down, they would do a design play specifically for Kenny Gainwell to get the ball. And it was mind-boggling, and I hated him for it. I didn't hate him. I hated him for that. I hated the idea of Kenny Gainwell. But then when he left, I kind of just missed him. He went to Pittsburgh last year and was like, I think they voted him they're like the MVP of their team. He was like amazing for them. And this year he signed with the Bucks. $7 million is a $14 million total contract for 2 years. I think it's phenomenal. I think this is going to be a huge upgrade for their offense. Maybe not a huge upgrade. Yeah, I would say Kenny Gainwell's an upgrade over Rashad White. And then what was his name? Bucky Irving was like fucked up the entire season last year, out. Nobody knows what the hell is going on. Doesn't go on IR or anything like that. And so Kenny Gainwell, very great out of the backfield. Great, I don't say great runner, good runner. Pass protection, he's good at. The guy's good at everything. Has good hands. Like he's great. I love Kenny Gainwell. I love Kenny G. I think that was a huge thing that they did. Their first round pick, they got the second big thing they got is Reuben Bain. He was the edge rusher that they got in the first round. He fell to them at 15, so it wasn't like they did something like conniving. Like it's not like they traded up to get this talent. He kind of just fell to 15, and they picked him up. He's the one that's like super tenacious. So he's got an absolute motor on him. The guy will beat the people across the line of scrimmage. Problem is that he's got T-Rex arms. Problem he's got little bitty baby arms. That's the problem with Reuben Bain. I think that he's going to be good. I think that when the short arms are a problem and he's not able to really separate, I think that's when you're really going to see it. And it's going to be like, ugh, those are short arms, aren't they? But until that happens, I'm kind of in on Ruben Bain being good. I think it was a great thing because last year they had the third highest pressure rate. They had the 16th most sacks, so they were getting back there. They just weren't finishing anything. They were affecting the quarterback. They just weren't getting him down. I think you get a guy like Ruben Bain, you can actually make that pass rush kind of tenacious. The third thing that they did, they changed their offensive coordinator. It's not getting Zach Robinson, getting the you didn't look at the Falcons offense last year and you weren't blown away by like scheming, like, holy fuck, I like what these guys are doing. Like, oh my God, it's crazy. They're scheming Drake London open. Kyle Pitts, holy shit, he's nothing, but they're making him good. It wasn't like it was fine. It was a capable offense. If you have a collapse like the Buccaneers did at the end of the season, you got to change. You got to change something. He's not necessarily like the sexiest offensive coordinator that was out there, but at least it is a change. And I think that's a big thing because every year Baker Mayfield's looking more and more like a good offensive coordinator guy. And that's not a rare thing. There's a lot of there's a lot of offensive coordinator type quarterbacks. Like he's not a system guy, but he's kind of wavering the line of system guy. Like he's not there. He's not Brock Purdy. He's not Jared Goff. These like prototypical system guys. Because Baker does a lot of shit by himself, and he's fucking awesome to play, and he doesn't quit. He wants to kill everybody and talk shit apparently to everybody. Like he's awesome. But he looks like he might be a guy that not desperately, well, yes, I would say desperately needs like a good offensive coordinator. His two best seasons were with Dave Canales in 2023 and Liam Cohen in 2024, and then it fell off last year. So, I mean, you got to make those changes. I'm glad that they did make a change. I don't know. I'm a fan of making a change at offensive coordinator when your offensive coordinator's not like totally sick. You know what I mean? Like if he's not great, then change him. You know what I mean? I feel like that makes sense. So they did, and I appreciate that. Falcons, next team up, 8-9, missed the playoffs. Like I said, best thing that they did, getting Tua Tagovailoa in free agency. All it cost them was $1.2 million because the Dolphins took a $99.2 million dead cap hit. Absolutely shattering the record, but breaking the record that the Broncos set when they released Russell Wilson. I think this is a great thing for them to do. Anytime you can get a starting caliber quarterback for $1.2 million, absolutely for it. I was a fan of the Steelers for doing it. With Russell Wilson, I think this is genius. This is genius. I'm a fan of the Vikings for doing it with Kyler Murray. I think this is a great thing. Michael Penix seems like burnt toast. Seems like he might suck if he ever gets healthy. I don't think that he'll ever win the starting quarterback job again. Maybe Tua is also trash, but you got him. You got a starting caliber quarterback for $1.2 million, and that's fucking great. Kevin Stefanski is they hired him. That's the second most important thing that I think they did. Maybe not the second most important. The second also important thing that I think that they did. Kevin Stefanski is a good head coach. He might not be the quarterback whisperer. He just did his 5-6 year stint with the Browns. They got rid of him. I don't think he's a quarterback whisperer that people will try to make him up to be. I don't think that he is. But he's a professional head coach. He's definitely a professional head coach. He's like he is, you know what he is? He is a ceiling raiser. He's a ceiling raiser. I don't think he's going to raise the floor because we saw those Browns teams bottom out hard, but he got them to the playoffs. That's fucking tough, man. That's a tough thing to do as a Browns head coach, is get that team to the playoffs, and he did it. He's a ceiling raiser, and I think I trust Matt Ryan. So Matt Ryan, they hired him to be the president of football. Absolutely sick job title. I think I trust him. I think I'm gonna trust Matt Ryan until I don't have a reason to trust him. Maybe this Kevin Stefanski thing absolutely bottoms out and everything turns to shit. Probably a good chance that it does. But this was the first thing that Matt Ryan did as their president of football. I think I trust him. So yeah, I'm a fan of the Kevin Stefanski hire. You know, I think it's good. I think they could have done worse. They certainly could have done worse. Maybe this again all could bottom out, and he did bring I think 3 Alex Van Pelt, Bill Callahan, and one other coach from Cleveland. I can't remember who it is off the top of my head, which is you're bringing a lot of Cleveland with you to Atlanta, and I would feel a little bit uneasy if I hired Kevin Stefanski. Be like, yeah, Kevin, I know that you want to bring your guys to implement your system. I know that you want to do that, but you're not gonna, because it sucked pretty bad over there. So we're going to bring you in, and you can hire new guys. You don't necessarily. Bill Callahan's a good offensive line coach, so that's a good thing. But I don't know. I don't necessarily know if I want Alex Van Pelt on my coaching staff. Nothing against the guy. Never met him, but a track record of Cleveland is shit. So whatever. Kevin Stefanski, I think that was a good choice by them. Another good thing that I think they did, drafting Avion Terrell in the second round. Remember, they did not have a first-round pick because they traded it to the Rams in the 2025 draft. They traded their 2026. The Falcons traded the Falcons' 2026 first-round pick to the Rams at the end of the first round of the 2025 draft. They traded it to the Rams for the 26th overall pick in 2025, which was funny because at 25, the Giants traded a second and a third to the Texans for the 25th pick. So the Giants traded a 2 and a 3 for the 25th, and the Falcons traded a future first for the 26th. That ended up being the pick that the Giants used to get Jackson Dart, and the Falcons got James Pierce Jr., who seems like he might not be a great guy based on the videos of fighting cops. I don't know. Seems like woof. Anyway, their first pick in the draft was in the second round. He's brothers with AJ Terrell, their other cornerback, so that's pretty cool in and of itself. So vibes wise, perfect. He's a smaller cat. He's 5'10", 190-ish pounds. He's quick, man. He'll close. He's got good closing speed. He is very fluid. Like he flows like water. I think that's going to be great for him. I think that he will be able to beat Mike Hughes for the starting cornerback spot. Last year, the Falcons gave Mike Hughes a 3-year deal with 2 years guaranteed money. And it was $5 million of guaranteed money. So it's not like they drafted a guy in the second round to play over a guy that they're paying oodles and oodles of money to. I think that Avion Terrell is going to be able to beat out Mike Hughes. I don't know. This is just a good vibes one. Remember what I said about the Panthers doing stuff that was like, yeah, this is great. I like everything. Like, this is all good. The good things that they did are good. It's not me trying to like do some fluffer and filler. That's what this is for the Falcons, Getting Tua and Kevin Stefanski, 2 big changes. Drafting Avion Terrell, yeah, vibes. Fuck yeah, dude. So that's the Falcons. The Saints, last place in the NFC South last year. Big thing. Coaching staff is largely the same. It is fucking Kellen Moore is their head coach. Nussmeier, Greg Nussmeier. It's not Greg. It certainly isn't Greg Nussmeier. Nussmeier. Because Garrett Nussmeier is the son. Doug Nussmeier. Duh. Doug Nussmeier is our offensive coordinator. Brandon fucking Staley is their defensive coordinator. Still doing that, I guess. Their first round pick was Jordan Tyson, wide receiver Jordan Tyson. I think that this is going to be really good. He's the one who came out of Arizona State. He's the one that if you were watching the draft, he's walking down the tunnel crying, and then he tried to spit, and he missed. He missed the part that you don't want to spit on is yourself when you spit, and he did. He spit all over himself. He missed everything else, just kind of out his mouth and dribbled down. Pretty gross. When he's healthy, he's going to be awesome with Chris Olave. Chris Olave is like a dominant X receiver. He's great. Jordan Tyson, he's the route runner, man. He's the precise guy. And then he's awesome at tearing up zones. So you're going to be able to have Chris Olave be speed, beat man, downfield kind of guy, and then you're going to have Jordan Tyson Finding seams. I think that's when he's healthy, which is an issue with him. I think this is a very good thing. In college, he had one total drop in 2025. Not in college, I just said in 2025 season. He had one total drop. Guy's got great hands, technician, finds a soft spot in zones. I think he's going to be great when he's healthy. Travis Etienne is making sure. I wrote Trevor. Travis Etienne. Trevor's his brother. Shocker. Sorry. Travis Etienne. My bad. He changed the pronunciation of his last name to Etienne. Etienne. That makes more sense. Creole. The Saints have needed a running back. I did just see a thing on TV that said that they just restructured with Alvin Kamara, so he's going to be on the team this year. Fine, sure, I guess. If you want to keep paying the dude, fine, whatever. In the last 5 seasons, Alvin Kamara, 11 games in 2025, 471 yards, 1 rushing touchdown. This is all rushing numbers. 14 games, 950 yards, 6 touchdowns. That's 2024. 15 games, 694 yards, 5 touchdowns. 13 games, 897, 2 touchdowns. 15, 898, 4 touchdowns. That 2024 season seemed like a whole lot like that was it. That was what you were going to get out of Alvin Kamara, and it's done now. He has not been nearly as dynamic as he was when he was young. Makes sense. Happens to us all. Getting Travis Etienne is great. I think that's a great thing. They've desperately needed, and he's got the capability to be a workhorse running back. Devin Neal and Kendrick Miller are the other 2 guys. If there's one knock on Travis Etienne, it is, I'm just going to keep saying his full name in order to have it burned in my head. It is that he did, in 2024, had a bad season because the Jags had Tank Bigsby. Ended up getting a lot of the work. Let me see exactly what his numbers were that year. Tank Bigsby is good. Tank Bigsby is really good. In 2024, Travis Etienne had 150 carries for 558 yards. That is 500 to 600 less than every single other season that he had. Tank Bigsby deserves that kind of work if he's going to be there. So that's fine. I don't think that Devin Neal and Kendrick Miller are going to be guys that have Tank Bigsby type upside. I think that they're going to use Alvin Kamara sparingly. This is great. This is one of the better running back signings that a team made this offseason. Also, fucking sick in pass protection. I love him. I love him in pass protection. He's awesome. One of the better pass protecting running backs in the entire NFL. There might be 2 or 3 guys better than him. Travis Etienne is good. Third thing that they did that I liked, getting Caden Ellis. He had this is the second run around with, that's not the right word, this is second time being with the Saints. He was with them in 2022. He had 7 sacks, and this is for a linebacker. However, that was with Dennis Allen, who runs a very different type of defense than Brandon Staley, runs a bastardized version of the Fangio offense. I like this because he's very good at blitzing. I was talking about Devin Lloyd before. And how he's good in coverage. And I think Caden Ellis is not that kind of cat, but what he doesn't offer there, he's fucking sick at coming downhill. And I think with a Saints pass rush that is, let's be kind because we're staying positive, doesn't have juice. They ain't got no juice makers really either. I think that having a good blitzing linebacker is going to end up being a massive thing for him. I don't necessarily know if he's going to put up big numbers, but he's bringing a 5th guy in. Bringing a 5th guy in there is, if that's the way that Brandon Staley, I need to look at the Brandon Staley's blitzing numbers historically. But I think that this is going to be one of them things that just kind of helps out everybody. You know what I mean? I think that you get that kind of that flowing zone coverage in the back, and then you have Caden Ellis come up and put some heat, some sugar in the A gap. I think that that's going to be a very good thing for this defensive line, again, because they don't have a whole lot to look at there. Not a whole lot to look at. That's wrong. A whole lot of They don't have ass. You're looking at Cam Jordan, Davin, never said this last name before, Godchaux, Godshow, Brian Brees, and Carl Granderson. Carl Granderson's, I would probably say, the best one of those. Chase Young, I guess they also have Chase Young too. Chase Young is still good in spots, not necessarily the guy that anybody really thought that he was going to be. I guess you get Chase Young up there, and I don't know. Caden Ellis is fun to watch. If nothing else, Caden Ellis is a fun football player to watch play football. Having him come downhill and blow things up is quite enjoyable. I think it's going to help. I think I've just restated that about 6 different ways. Anyway, that is the positive things for the NFC South. Like I said, for the Panthers, rebuilt the offensive line, did not give Bryce Young a contract, and they signed Devin Lloyd. The Buccaneers signed Kenny Gainwell, Kenny G, my baby, my adopted baby. That's weird. Drafted Reuben Bain and got a new offensive coordinator. I'm a fan of that. Falcons got Tua, hired Kevin Stefanski, drafted Avion Terrell. I'm probably missing something. I'm probably missing something big with the Falcons, I imagine. There's probably something glaring that I'm not thinking of. Again, if I don't bring something up, probably forgot about it. Not because I don't think it's important. Saints drafting Jordan Tyson, very, very good wide receiver when healthy. Signed Travis Etienne and signed Caden Ellis. All good. I mean, it's not an interesting division. But they're gonna beat the shit out of each other. It's the sad version of the AFC North. These are teams that just beat the shit out of each other, except it's kind of just sad otherwise. Where it's like, yeah, the Ravens might be. It's the AFC North if every team was Browns adjacent. How about that? It's if every team was like the Browns, where it's the Ravens are like, yeah, they won 3 straight, but they're gonna play the Browns. They'll probably end up losing. In the NFC South, it's like, yeah, I mean, the Saints have not been able to do goddamn dick shit, but they're playing the Buccaneers, so they'll probably win. It's like that, you know. Although the Saints defense did well at the end of last season, that defense is playing well at the end of a season. Doesn't really translate that much over into the next year. Whatever. Thank you guys very much for listening. My name is Jake. Doing it all in one take. That rhymed. Fuck yeah, dude. Maybe I'll use that again. I will talk to you later. Bye.